Welcome back, my beautiful humans. I'm so glad you joined me today. Today, we're going to be diving into a topic that's going to make you rethink a few things, especially if you die tomorrow. We're going to talk about anger and how that emotion can change if you're asking yourself, if I die tomorrow. Okay, before you freak out and think that this is going to be some dreadful existential video about crisis and all of that good stuff, well, you're wrong. And I wouldn't do that to you. I'm not here to scare you, but stay with me here. What if you did know that today was the last day you had? Would you really waste it being mad? I personally wouldn't. Today we're talking about how to let go of anger and embrace a little more chill. And maybe avoid that road rage or the fight that doesn't need to happen. Because let's be real, we all need a little less fury and a lot more zen in our life. Let's start with a little perspective, shall we? Picture this. Oh my gosh, I sound like the Golden Girls. That was a good show. Imagine you're driving to work and you pulled in and there was a prime parking spot. You're like, yes, my day is going to be awesome. And as you're quietly celebrating in your head, somebody goes in and steals the parking spot. And oh my goodness, what do you think? You start honking your horn, you roll down your window, and you unleash a torrent of expletives that would make your grandmother blush. Now, in the grand scheme of things, how much does that parking spot actually matter in your life? Would it have been nice to have? Sure. But does it really affect your life? I don't think so. Would you remember it tomorrow? Well, probably, because it irritated you. Would it stop your whole life from going on? No. But in that moment, you are ready to throw down. Here's the catch. What if we zoomed out a little bit? What if we knew this was our last day? Would you really let some random person ruin your peace, your zen, over a parking spot? Would you even care? Or would you laugh it off, grab the next spot, and move on? I'll let you think for a second. Okay. Here's the thing. Anger is a choice. And when we put things in perspective, we realize that most of the stuff that ticks us off just really isn't worth our time, our energy, or even our focus for even that split second. Life is too short, my friends. Too short to get mad over parking spots, spilled coffee, or the guy who always takes the last donut at the office meeting. We know anger is a choice, but why do we choose it so often? Well, let's break it down. Anger is like a bad house guest. You let it in, and suddenly it takes over your whole house. Throwing stuff around, making noise, ruining your vibe. It doesn't contribute anything of value. It just leaves a mess behind. Which is actually a pretty good analogy. When you get angry, your body's like, let's go, adrenaline. You're hyped up, you tense up, and you're ready to fight. But does that actually do something good for you? No, it doesn't. All it does is drain your energy and make you feel, well, crappy. And guess what? It doesn't change the situation either. Not one bit. And the person who made you angry, do you think they're even aware that it really bothered you that much? Probably not. They've moved on. But you're still holding on to that frustration, stewing in it, and making your own blood pressure rise. See, holding on to anger isn't just about the other person. It's about you and how you feel. And if you knew you only had a limited amount of time, like maybe just a few hours, would you really want to spend that time feeling tense, upset, and irritated? Probably not. And I know I've touched on anger before. And again, I would say 99% of the time, it's not anything that I would choose to spend my last moments on, because it's not worth it. By all means, have boundaries. And if something upsets you and it's part of your 1%, then absolutely be upset. Let the person know in an open dialogue, because nothing can get fixed if we can't have a conversation. And in order to have a good conversation, we have to listen to hear and not respond. Let's play a game. It's called What If Today Was Your Last Day? And guess what? You're the contestant. And I promise it's not as dark as it sounds. It's actually fun. Think about all the things you get upset over in a typical day. Annoying emails, people cutting you off, running late for an appointment. Here's the question. If today were your last day, would you even care about those things? Okay, now imagine your best friend calls you and says, hey, I'm thinking of you today. And you say, wait, do you know something I don't know? But imagine the impact of choosing to be calm, to respond with understanding, to laugh instead of yell. Now, I'm not saying we should never feel frustration or anger. Anger is a normal human emotion. It's part of being alive. But what if we don't let it rule us? That's what I'm getting at. What if we took a breath, looked at the bigger picture, and decided that it's just not worth it? That peace felt better than frustration. If today were your last day, what would you choose? Would you really want to spend your final moments spent yelling at someone for being late to dinner? Would you really want to leave this world fuming over a slow Wi-Fi connection? Don't tell me it doesn't happen. We've established what anger doesn't help, right? Let's talk about what happens when we choose not to get angry. First of all, you'll save yourself a lot of stress. Anger tends to make our blood pressure go up, makes us tense, and can even give us headaches. And for men, most men hold it in their lower back, and most women hold it in their shoulders and their neck. And I've done it for a long time, and I let it go years ago. I didn't want to feel that way anymore. Part of my backstory is I've had several close calls. Let's put it like that. And the older I got with the close calls, the more I realized the truth behind don't get angry about the small stuff, and it's all small stuff. So if we can remember that on a daily basis, life will get better. When you choose peace over anger, your body's like, oh, I can relax now. It's a smoother ride. You let go of the tension, you let go of the worry, and you start actually living. You get to laugh more, enjoy the little things, and focus on what really matters. Plus, here's the kicker. When you stop sweating the small stuff, you actually feel more in control of your life. Just don't get too focused on being in control of your life. You're going to stop reacting to every little thing, and you'll start choosing a response that better fits the situation. And that is where some of your power lies. Okay, so I know it's not always easy to just stop being angry. You might be thinking, yeah, great advice, but what about when someone's seriously annoying me? Trust me, I've been there. So let's go over some practical ways to keep calm, cool, and collected, even when the world is driving you nuts. 1, take a deep breath. I used to say all the time, breathe in the good, let go of the crap. Once you breathe a little, it's easier and simpler to let things go. 2, count to 10, slowly. Now, this tip might not work for everyone. If you focus, though, on something other than the situation, it does help. A little. Distraction. Distraction is helpful. I know this is something that your therapist or your grandma or your mom might tell you, but it actually works. It gives your brain time to catch up with your emotions. It will help you react less impulsively. 3, look at the bigger picture. Seriously, ask yourself, if I die tomorrow, would this really matter? I'm not lying. That is exactly what I do every single time. It took me time to get to that place, but I do it every time. And if it is something that I can honestly answer yes, it's my 1%. And at that time, I have to make a decision. I have to choose how I'm going to handle it. And that's what you need to do. And if you haven't worked up to asking the big question, if I die tomorrow, will it matter? Start out small and say, in an hour, is this going to matter? What about a week? Month? Year? And if the answer is no, let it go. 4, laugh it off. Seriously, laughter is the best medicine. And it works wonders for not just stress, but embracing who you are, accepting the human side of yourself. You're stuck in traffic, turn it into a comedy. You can laugh at yourself for getting worked up. And you should laugh at yourself. And then move on. If it is part of your 1%, I don't know about you, but if I am really upset, and it's usually with anger, I cry out of frustration. And then I beat myself up because I cried. But it was actually just me embracing the emotions that I have because they were bigger than what I could handle at the time. But once you just let it out and let it go, it will get better. And once you can laugh at things and laugh at yourself, the situation gets better. It's not so dramatic. Unless you're in the dentist chair, and good luck with that. Here's the takeaway, folks. Life is short. We all know that. Or at least we're all trying to accept that. Which is what I'm trying to help do. Help you accept that you don't know if you have tomorrow. Let's not get angry over the small stuff. When we get angry over the small stuff, we're missing out on the good stuff. The really good stuff. I've told you before, I believe beauty is everywhere. Sometimes you have to look harder to find it, but it's there. Anger clouds that and makes it even more difficult to find. Letting go of that anger makes it easier to see the beauty in this life. If you knew today was your last day, try not to spend it angry. I mean, we all have to take baby steps. Nothing like this ever happens overnight. But you've got this. I know you do. Choose peace. Choose laughter. Choose love. And most importantly, choose to let go of the little things that really don't matter. Trust me. Your last day on earth will be a lot more enjoyable if you spend it smiling instead of seething. Thank you for hanging out with me today. I'm so glad that we could have this conversation. Don't be afraid to share this. We all know somebody who might need a reminder. Hit the like button. Leave me a comment. I really want to hear more about your lives and what you're struggling with, and maybe we can find a way to deal with it. Also, don't forget to hit subscribe. Doesn't cost anything, and you just get notifications. And we all know you can always turn off the notifications. I'm just saying. And if this video made you rethink about getting angry, even for just a moment, it might help someone else. So share it with somebody who might need a little reminder. Because we could all use to chill out. I'll see you next time. And remember, life is too short to be angry. So be kind, be grateful, and stay humble, my friends.